everyone. My name is Dave Sprague. Welcome to Clarity 16.2.1 Supportability and Feature Training. In this section, we will review the adoption and usability enhancements. I'd like to start out with a reminder. Following Clarity's 16.1.2 release, which is in May of 2023, the team completed another VPAT certification process indicating conformance with Section 508, which is really the main accessibility act for the US, WCAG 2.1, levels A and AA success criteria, and the EN 301-549 standards, which is the European standard for digital accessibility. As a reminder, Clarity's accessibility initiative is focused on the modern user experience and those capabilities available from the configurable grid. Clarity's most current VPAT document can be accessed from the product documentation site under the accessibility features in Clarity section. It should be noted that Clarity's accessibility effort is never truly complete, but we have a roadmap in front of us, and the newly published VPAT based on Clarity 16.1.2, which again was released in June of 2023. And you can see that we have several remediation items prioritized for the next development cycle, which initiates shortly in our month of February. And we have another VPAT planned based on 16.2.2, which is targeted to be issued in June of 2024. So what's new? So from a usability perspective, there's a couple updates in this release. There's a new breadcrumb navigation user experience and a new page header layout. With this capability enabled, all Clarity pages will display the new breadcrumb and header layout. This capability is enabled by default after you upgrade to 16.2.1. The administrator can optionally disable or enable this capability using the new toggle management capabilities. I encourage you to reference an additional training session entitled Administration Feature Toggles to learn more about this as it affects Clarity. Next up, Clarity's cascading style sheets, or what is commonly referred to as CSS, has been updated so that button text contains the appropriate capitalization in English and other supported languages, such as French. From an accessibility perspective, there's been a number of remediations included in the release that were customer reported, as well as findings from that May 2023 accessibility audit, which impacted multiple WCAG success criterion, which have been remediated in this release. I encourage you to reference the 16.2.1 Clarity release notes as soon as they're available. So what other platform capabilities are new and related to usability, but covered in other training sessions? I mentioned the toggle feature, which allows you to enable or disable selected features for a certain period of time. But from the usability perspective, I will cover this in terms of how the new breadcrumb navigation and header user experience is enabled. So let's move on to the demonstration. In this demo, I'll be focused on one thing, which is really the new breadcrumb navigation and page header layout. I'll show you how to disable it or enable it, and then we'll compare it, the new breadcrumb and navigation and header design with what's referred to as the current global header design layout. All right, so let's move on to the demonstration. All right, so here we can see Clarity 16.2.1. I've just happened to land on the objectives workspace, but we're going to move on to another area, the roadmap area. So with this release, as I mentioned, Clarity is introducing that new breadcrumb navigation experience combined with the new page header layout. Excuse me, the capability is enabled by default following the upgrade to 16.2.1. However, the administrator can optionally disable it using the new toggle management tools. For purposes of this demonstration, I'll show you how the administrator can use the new toggle management tools in the context of disabling the new breadcrumb navigation and header experience. Again, for more detailed information about the new toggle management tools that pertain to all of Clarity, I suggest reviewing the separate training session entitled Administration Feature Toggles. So the new breadcrumb experience offers improved visibility to where a user is within Clarity in terms of navigation, with the ability to easily return to the previously visited pages. For example, when a user navigates to a roadmap and selects a linked investment or a selected roadmap item, the user has visibility of the roadmap from which they came from and a logical way to return. Let's see this in action. So I'm in the roadmap workspace. I am got a listing of roadmaps for which I have access. That's normal behavior, standard behavior. I'll select the fiscal plan, ideas and projects roadmap. I'll select that link. And here you can see the roadmap link in the upper left. And then that provides a link to return to the previous page. And I see in the header row, I see the roadmap name and ID. I'll inspect the Able Payments module. These are a number of roadmap items that are in place, that are in this roadmap. They kind of give me some indications of strategy. Are they in the plan? I've got various pieces of information up top here that tell me my targets and variances. But I'll go ahead and inspect the first roadmap item here by clicking the Link to link. You can see I've navigated to the Able Payments module and its properties page. I want to draw your attention to the breadcrumb up on the left here that now includes the fiscal plan and ideas projects roadmap link. And the header row is populated with the investment name and ID. The header row now includes the configured banner color. You can see it includes the status badge and the milestone timeline, which is positioned on the right. And I can hover on the milestones to get information in the form of a tooltip. So, and you'll notice that the configured modules, which were configured via the blueprint, are not colorized. They're just in a standard text. And this has a cleaner look and allows you to focus in on what investment am I actually looking at. So at this point, I have options to return to the fiscal plan, ideas, and projects roadmap with a single click from where I just came from, or go directly to the starting point, which was the complete list of roadmaps. And again, a single click. But I'll go one step further in my investigation and select the risk module. I will select the scope change risk. And you can see I've navigated to the risk and its properties page. Again, I want to draw your attention to the breadcrumb navigation and point out that it also includes the Able Payments module investment link. And the header row is populated with the risk name and ID. Again, I have navigation options to either return to the investment, the Able Payment module investment, with a single click, or the roadmap with a single click, or the roadmap listing with a single click. So for purposes of the demo, I'll just select the roadmap link to return us to the starting point, which is really the roadmap listing. So what I want to do now is I want to switch gears and I want to use the same flow again, but with the breadcrumb navigation and header row capability disabled. But before we can do this, the administrator will disable the breadcrumb navigation and header row capability. So I will go into Modern UX Administration. There's a new tile here called Feature Toggles. This includes, it has a separate access right. You can see the list of available feature toggles and their description, the release, the release of the capability was introduced, and when the toggle will expire. I know you're going to have a few questions about this new feature area. And again, I encourage you to review the separate training session entitled Administration feature toggles. So I want to draw your attention here to the header row and breadcrumb layout row in this list, which is enabled. This is by default upon upgrade. But if for some reason you're not ready to introduce this capability to your users, you can disable this by removing the checkbox. I'll go ahead and remove the checkmark to disable this capability. And for demo purposes, I'll refresh my browser. And with that administrative change completed, let's go back to the roadmap workspace and review the difference in behavior for the flow we just experienced with this that new capability enabled. So we're back to the roadmap workspace. I'll go back into my same roadmap, and you can see the roadmap link is positioned into what is referred to as the global header. This global header also includes the roadmap name and ID kind of positioned in the center of the page. So this link allows me to go back to the page that I was just on. I'll go ahead and inspect the Able Payments module again by selecting the Link to Investment. And we've now navigated into this investment. It happens to be a project of type project. And you can see the navigation link up in that global header, which allows me to return to that roadmap. And the global header includes the investment name and ID and a status badge. And the milestone timeline spans the page. Again, I can still hover on the milestones and get some information about that. You'll notice the banner color is consumed in the row with the modules that have been configured from a blueprint. So at this point, I have a single navigation link to return to the previous page. So in this case, it was that roadmap. In this mode, my navigation is limited to a single link, which returns me to the previous page. So I'll continue the flow. We'll go to the risk module. I'll select the scope change link again, just like we did before. And now I've navigated to the risk properties page. And again, I want to draw your attention to the navigation up in the top. That's the link that allows me to get back to the investment. And you can see the risk name and ID is populated in the center of the page in the global header. So at this point, I have a single link to return to the previous page. And again, in this mode, my navigation is limited to a single link to return me to the previous page. So I'll go ahead and select Able Payments module. I'll go ahead and select the Fiscal Plan and Ideas and Projects link to return to the roadmap. And I'll select the roadmap link to return to the complete listing. So I've shown you the same flow with the new breadcrumb navigation with its new header and row enabled and disabled to help you determine the best approach for your users. Remember, the new breadcrumb navigation with its new header row is enabled by default. So that concludes the demonstration of the new breadcrumb navigation user experience with the new page header layout. So with that, I want to thank you for your time. This concludes the usability and adoption, the demonstration session. Thank you very much.